The Dode Fox Podcast.
So welcome back to the award-winning Dode Fox Podcast, episode 336, with Keys in the Bowl, Paul McNichol, and watching Eurovision on a Saturday night. What has my life become? Ronnie Costello.
Like, subscribe and click the notification bell on YouTube. Support the pod at buymeacoffee.com/DodeFox Podcast. Listen at dodefoxpodcast.com and follow us on social media at DodeFox Podcast.
Now, of course, we were both obviously watching Eurovision last night.
No.
Saturday nights are about.
No.
Did you watch anything funny during Saturday, during the day or anything? Entertainment?
Entertainment. There was plenty of entertainment. Yeah, I did
Beds
watch,
being shot in?
I did watch the title decider, and it kind of went the way I thought it would.
Yes.
Mhm.
Penalty?
Yesterday or through the week?
Yesterday.
It's Stonewall penalty. You kind of slide in with your hand up here.
It's,
Are people really greeting about that penalty?
again, still a backdoor penalty. Still more during the week of that.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
It was again, them. I expected it to win, but as long as it was going on, I thought more and more that the incredible might just happen here.
Yeah, and then I can, like, Celtic score a lot of late goals. We have seen that firsthand over the years, Rondo. It's not even like this season they've done it. Like, my whole life they've scored late goals. They're pretty damn good at it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's been quite the season. I think we've said that for them, but at the same time,
well, that's it. Like, it's probably maybe not the worst Celtic team of my life, because I am so old, as you keep reminding me. But it's the poorest Celtic team for a number of years.
Yeah,
and yet they still win the league.
Yeah.
There's a bit of that is pretty fucking depressing.
Didn't realise as well that's 7 wins on the spin they've had, but ultimately didn't win at Tannadice this year.
Didn't I? If it wasn't for us, they'd had the league wrapped up 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was, I suppose, an exciting end for that. There was so much on the line going into that final game, but any time it cut to Hearts fans, you thought every one of them has got no fingernails left.
No, I mean, could you imagine, like, if that's United, I'm there. If I could get a ticket, I would go, obviously, but I don't know how I would cope with that sort of stress and anxiety. Oh, that would be a nightmare.
In the bog, no moving.
Oh, unbelievable stuff. But I sadly don't think we'll ever be in that position. But if I were, I wouldn't be able to cope.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, it takes a second goal going into you. Hurry up to tap throw-ins. And
it is strange, yeah.
Yeah. No, the best scenes at the end either. I think we were a lot of pitch invasions over the last couple of years, and I think they were good-mannered in the majority, certainly when we won the championship. But
this is going to get the game stopped, though, is it?
Yeah.
Like, I think on the back of this, I wouldn't be surprised if the authorities now say, right, that this is what's going to happen if there's a pitch incursion by fans or whatever. So, yeah, I'm no madly against pitch invasions, and I could understand them in the moment. I get it, like when United won the league. I get it when United qualified for Europe. I get it. Now, there was a wee bit of afters last season with the Aberdeen game, and as much as Willie Miller tried to blame United fans for that, like, that wasn't us. That wasn't one of us that ended up in court, and then we a conviction because of their actions.
Yep.
But I do think the scale of this one, I could see them just like they're just going to be banned, basically, and know that they're allowed now, but they're just going to come down with heavy sanctions, I would imagine.
Yeah, and like you're saying, we've seen it so many times. The old firm just seem to find a way.
They do, yeah.
In
particular, one half of them.
Yeah, and I suppose on one hand, a team has split the old firm, but I think that has happened a couple of times in the past. But it's what you do that second season, I suppose.
Yeah, and like the chat coming out the maroon half of Edinburgh as well. It's a 10-year plan, and this is as poor as we'll be for the next 10 years because this is the first year. That's not usually how it works, though. This might be who knows? This might be their best opportunity in the next 10 years to win the league. This might be their best opportunity in the next 40 years to win the league, and they came up short despite having a pretty damn good season.
And I heard there was just thousands of people pissing themselves laughing in Leith and beyond.
I could imagine, yeah. I think it was flooded this morning, wasn't it?
Let's take a look at the week that was. Our podcast palmer, Garo Gomez, has signed for Broxburn Athletic. He'll be 41 in July.
Unreal, eh? That's what happens when you keep yourself ticking over and in good shape.
The Parisian hide-and-seek champion.
He was. He certainly was. Fair play. I mean, he obviously loves the game, Rondo. That's what I take away from that. Him, Sean Dillon, I don't know if he's playing on, but like I think he's maybe even a year older than Morgaro. But these boys just love playing football.
Yeah, and he was our guest this season. He was episode 300.
I think it was, yeah.
Our guest. So it's one of those chats that I know people find the podcast at different times and stuff. And he was, me and Paul weren't sure what to expect, because anytime I've met him, he's been very softly spoken, hasn't said much.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he sat for like 2 hours with us and told us stories we just couldn't believe.
No, we had no idea about them as well, regardless of all the notes that we might compile and the wee bit of research that we do. Like there was still things that he was bringing up, like he was the Parisian hide-and-seek champion for a period of a few months as well, was it? He wouldn't tell anybody that his time at a particular team had come to an end. So he was a great guest, and he's a hero to United fans. In fact, United fans today were singing his song.
Brilliant.
Last game of the season, you get a lot of songs that are sung that you've not heard for a while. That was in them.
Ireland played Grenada yesterday. Will Ferry came off the bench to earn his first cap, but he has not made the squad for their upcoming friendlies against Qatar and Canada. Give with one hand, take with the other.
Bittersweet though, because he's now an internationalist. He's played. I think he assisted in the goals.
Yeah. But amazingly, in the report he says he assists, but it doesn't show on the stats that he assisted. But
I haven't seen it.
I'm saying he assisted.
So man, it was a great ban for him, I think. But yeah, like he's done that now. That's a box tick, so he can go on his holidays rather than go and sit on the bench against Qatar and Canada and get 15 minutes here and there. So no, congratulations to him. Fair play. It feels like it's well deserved. Like I don't know many of the other players in the Irish squad, but he's been very, very good for us of late.
Yeah, and it's one of those games that, because it was during the football calendar, clubs don't have released their players, but obviously there's going to be used up by players that have maybe not had a chance or whatever.
Stand in his way.
No, again, I think if you're like, if this is last season and you're playing for fourth,
he doesn't go.
But
yeah,
same with Manny, they'll let him join up with Ghana early as well to give him himself a chance.
Of course. Nah, I totally agree with you. Like, if we're playing in the Scottish Cup final this weekend, he's not getting released.
No.
Neither of them are. But it was a dead rubber, so it's a no-brainer. Just let them go.
It was funny because people are saying, but it's Saturday, so you can just fly back and be playing on the Sunday.
Because that's exactly what he'll want today.
Not a chance.
No danger.
Prize money this season, including the 7th placed finish, the Cups and Europe, is worth just under £3 million to United. 1.96 million for the league, 780 grand for Europe, around about £200,000 for the domestic cups. I'll be honest with you, I didn't realise it was that high.
It still doesn't seem that much though, does it? Like when you think about how much the clubs per game get down south.
Yeah.
It's more than that for a game.
Yeah.
It's been hard earned. Obviously, the Europe, you're getting that money on the back of what you've done the previous year, because you've done well enough to qualify. So that's not going to be there next season. So we'll just say to finish higher up the league, Ronda.
I think
and win a cup.
The spots for the league are worth about, I think it's around about 80 grand.
Yeah.
No. About 80 grand.
Yeah.
So at one point today, you maybe didn't realise this, because of how the scores were going.
Dundee were about 200 grand down.
But Kilmarnock were like 200 grand up.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. You think when you go like per space, if you can jump a few, like what is that, one player? Is that two players you're paying for?
Yeah, 100. And that's why I think it was really important within the club to finish 7th, because you're then maximising your earnings. Obviously, you can't finish any higher than that, so you want to be top of that wee relegation zone league according to live score. So no, it's we did well in the end to finish 7th. 3 million, I'm not sure if that's good or not. It doesn't seem like a lot of dosh.
Yeah, and amazingly announced before the game, Max Waters has been released by Barnsley. They've got the ex-Hearts manager, Danny Sandel or something. I can't mind what his name is. It's went right out of my head. But he's come in, looked at the sheet and went, nah, gonna fancy about 10 of years.
So is that boy just came in then?
Yeah, for next season.
So he's maybe never even doesn't get in like Max Waters is.
Nah, so there's a few.
But then it's probably no surprise because if he only had a year left on his deal and he was loaned out by the club, I'm assuming he was under the impression that he was then going away and he wasn't returning to Barnsley.
Yeah. Paul Marker's desperate for United to make that permanent as well.
Is that right? Well, we'll see.
Tuesday night would be the final match at Tannadice of the season before they start ripping the pitch up on Wednesday morning. Livingston were coming to town. Again, a team that were gone by that point. I certainly believed the foot would be off the gas for them.
Yeah.
Going into it, I didn't really have a clue what team they would play, why I was fit, why anyone. I like the boy Smith, that's about it.
Is he signed or going to come on, Mick?
It was Hibs I heard, but that's...
So for a 6-figure fee, Leo that tell us, I mean, it might be true. He might have been playing a Football Manager or something.
I know he's still got a year, sorry, no, he does.
Even if he wasn't,
possibly.
Still
come on, like 6 figures. Mind you, they threw money at that left back they signed in January.
That's the Billy Bowie effect, is it? He'll be throwing money and writing half, probably.
Probably. But yeah, Livingston were coming to town. Pretty much went as maybe expected for the end of the season. It was...
Yeah. It was pretty much a meh performance match. I was still a wee bit frustrated not to see a change in goalkeeper, as I've spoke about for the last 4 weeks, it feels like. And it was good to see Bert back in the team, I suppose. Johnny Russell getting a start, that was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the game as a whole, it wasn't great. We weren't great. In some ways, I thought we were a bit lucky. Defending was a bit comedic at times, a bit last gasp.
I think you're right about Bert, though. I thought Bert played well. But there was only that one time he was caught out wide right. But
yeah, no, I thought he'd done all right as well. Stevie May obviously ups his game every time he plays a team in Tanzania.
It's unbelievable.
He looks great. He looks really good. I don't know why I don't rate him that much, because every time I see him, he plays pretty damn well. Yeah, that wasn't there's no much about that game I'll remember in a couple of weeks, never mind a couple of years.
Yeah, Amar Fattah was out before the game. In his Cheerios.
Yeah, strange one that they didn't do that before the Dundee game. Maybe they were hoping to get him fit or something.
He was at Man City doing rehab.
At that time?
Yes. Or he was in Manchester doing rehab, but I'm assuming he was at Man City.
Could have put him on the big screen waving or something. They got a better reception and booed for the D's.
Possibly,
well, trick missed.
Yeah.
No, it was good to see him, obviously, and it does feel like it's a cheerio rather than a we'll see you later.
Again, look, we've had 2 years of Lucas Stevenson. I highly expect to watch him playing in England someplace next season for whatever, but you kind of doubt anything less than 99% effort for him every single week. You know what I mean? And so
big boots to fill.
I'm not so sure they'll be that big. It's like Ryan Strain's right enough.
That's a fair point.
And there's a lot of wee bits getting worn, but just that, you see it when he goes out a team, whether he's playing right wing back or in midfield, it's a hand he gives you. So, and obviously missing Manny because we suspension. There's going to be a miss. Pan come back in. He's first starting a wee while. Like say Johnny Russell started, and it was going to be, it was slow, it was flat.
Did they start Johnny Russell because it was retro night? The only reason he got the nod.
I actually thought he'd done really well for he was putting himself about. And,
no issues with him at all.
But there was we didn't, Ryan Strain sticks in a cross that Johnny gets on the end of. Big Sam taxing in the fucking mush for about 3 yards.
That was the hardest shot I've ever seen. And that was in about the first minute.
Yeah, it was pretty early on.
That was unbelievable. I thought he was dead. I was praying that he wasn't. It was an unbelievable smack in the pus for close range with a bar.
Yeah, and then
done well to recover.
Stevie May hit the post.
He did, yeah. That was unfortunate for them. Very fortunate for us. Yeah, we just I thought defensively we weren't, again, no surprise, but we weren't great in spells. Livingston didn't look like a team that are relegated by about 13 points.
Total
or
freedom,
whatever.
Just take the foot off the gas.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. I think we tried that today and got a bit of a pound in, but
Yeah. The forum team in the country.
yes,
They'd about Celtic and Hearts the day if they had played them.
probably. Yeah, but after he hit the post and Dave Richards got a save, but then is it a good save by the Livi goalie, or should Farrugia do much better?
I think it's a bit of both. He's made himself big, hasn't he?
Great move. Starts
brilliant
with a
move.
Russell.
Brilliant move.
Slide by in.
But if we're being honest, we are expecting that we score a goal for that move. But it is a really good save, I think, yeah. From his point of view. Because he's sick of the goalkeeper in that instance, in my opinion, is second favourite.
Yes.
But you would never have known it.
No.
So we should have done better in that moment.
What was your view at the time, your take at the time when Montano heads him?
I thought he was off by a considerable distance, to be honest with you, at the time. But then when the longer it went with the check, I was like, well, clearly somebody out with my vision has played this boy on here.
So again, at the time, same as you, I thought he's off. And Graham on VAR next to me says, he's offside. So it comes up, VAR checking possible offside. Okay, no problem. And then you see the clip of him heading it in, the flag goes up and he's going, and you're like, right, okay. Right, because sometimes people just can't. Like,
what did annoy us is it was another fucking free header about 6 yards out.
Of course it was. So it went on, and I looked down and I thought, I think there's about 3 minutes. So I actually says to the boy at staying Livy's social media, I says, "You timing how long this has been?" He says, "It's got to be at least 3 minutes." I says, "What do you think?" He says, "No idea."
Yeah.
I says, "I've no idea." So obviously it goes up and it is offside. So when the half-time whistle comes, we're sort of chatting to them and saying, "Oh, do you think?" He says, "This is a fucking nonsense, like 3 minutes." Like, I says, and I'm not on about not being able to draw lines on pictures or whatever, but like, see if it gets to a minute and you kind of find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You just need to go with it. You just need to, and I says, you just need to say it's offside, or if it's a goal, you just need to go with it. And he was like, absolutely. And it's a wee bit of, and I'm not could solve that.
Can you imagine the conspiracies, though, if that was the case? Because people would be like, he purposely took longer than a minute.
Listen, there was no conspiracies on Wednesday night at any game in Scottish football that had VAR involved, right? But it's no the greatest system. But ultimately, if you want the great system, it costs you thousands more than what we've got. But to make a 3-minute check for that to the naked eye looked offside.
Yeah, it did look offside, albeit just offside, but without any sort of lines, just one still image, you're like, well, it does look offside there. So what are we checking? For bar hairs? For toenails? Like, it's ridiculous. What are we checking for here?
That's not an image I need on a Sunday night.
Well,
hold on.
Shake it out. No, but like we did, I suppose you could say we got lucky because there wasn't much in it. And as I said, it was a free header. In our box yet again, and then the boy is able to dive and get it in. Thankfully, he was offside, but it was just another example of what we've not really been good at this season. Yeah.
I mean, half-time came and went pretty quickly. Sean Dillon family day out in the 50-50.
Wasn't it half? Unbelievable. Wouldn't have been surprised if they had won it enough. Talking of conspiracies.
Yeah, absolutely. Second half again, it was much the same. There wasn't a great game overall. Salzford, good block for Livingston. Oh, and Sturton, come on, got involved right away. It wasn't a great shot, but at least it was a shot on target.
Yeah.
And there was the one moment, and I think Abdi's screaming at him when he's just hunting. I think he's looking for somebody to pull him down and get a free kick. And he's waiting. It's like, just lay it off. It doesn't happen, but it kind of summed up the end of season sort of.
Yeah, it was mince. I think Owen needs to go away this summer and lift weights.
Be like the Hulk.
And eat tatties. He needs to, whatever is scientifically going to put muscle on. My granny would have taught me eat big tatties or something. But he needs to fill out a bit. He does need to get a wee bit stronger and a wee bit better at using his own stature. The one thing I do like about him is usually his first thought is that I'm going to try and get a shot away. I like that about a striker. Scotty Constable came on. I thought he'd done all right, and then within minutes I felt like there was a fucking penalty. Now, looking back, like I thought at the time it happened, I thought it was Scotty that had kind of clattered into the boy for the back, and I was like, I can't believe this. No one of our own, but it was Sam.
Well, it still was.
Yeah,
one of our own.
but it was nobody that clattered into the boy, but it was Sam that was closer to the guy. But when the ref pointed to the spot, I was just shaking my head. I was like, this night's been pretty average. This would be the tin lid on it. And then obviously a VAR checks it again, doesn't give it. I've since seen it back. Fair play to the ref, because the boy got booked for it. And it is a blatant dive.
The Livi boys are excitable.
Yeah.
Like when we beat them 3-2 the other week, they were very, very excited. I thought at one point the boy was going off the gantry. They were getting that excitable.
Yeah.
But when the penalty got awarded, I'm surprised you didn't hear them.
Yeah.
They were screaming. They were well up for it. And again, they're next to me. He's like, I think that's a penalty.
Yeah.
Now, this is like because he is a referee now. Like their vision is different. Like he's like, that's not a penalty. I'm like, eh?
Yeah.
He's like, it's not a penalty. I said, I think that's a penalty. And then when you see it back,
yeah. And in the moment, if there was no VAR at that time, I would have thought that was a penalty, because it looked clumsy.
Yeah.
For where I was, it just looked like we had run into the back of him.
Yeah.
But no, it's in a nothing game for them. We still find boys that will cheat or try and cheat to win games. Like it's the scourge of modern football. Like it really is.
And Grant Irvine just got the card out.
Yeah,
card off your pop.
Rightly so. Rightly so. You had to.
Yeah, but it was good to see Scott Constable come on.
Mm-hmm.
Thought Eskison these 20 minutes playing in a position that seems to be where he should be playing.
He seems to hate something about him.
Oh,
he's very positive.
Yeah,
he likes going forward.
Yeah, he'll book another Scott.
Yeah,
2 months.
That's all right. We could live with that.
Yeah, but ultimately it was seventh got secured because of obviously how Aberdeen got on and whatever. So at the end of the day, it was good in that sense, because at one point again, I'm looking at the results of that time, you're thinking, we need to go up Paisley and definitely get 3 points here.
Yeah.
Oh, Machty me, I wasn't up for that. But ultimately we got it there. It was 3 games without a goal though.
More than aware of that, Rondo. Has it been at a 3?
Yeah. Yeah.
And very rarely looking like getting a goal.
Yeah.
That's the bigger, or that was the bigger issue.
Yeah, I thought, Livingston were for the better side, I would say, over the 90. Will Ferry probably the out and out attacking threat, or what would look like you might create. So again, there was at one point, John Russell has the chance for Strain, and then he near clears Eddie Thompson.
Well, so when he done that was the start of the second half. I was saying it was a well worked corner, and that was Leo that punched that. But I was like, header it, punched it, shot it.
I did.
Disappointing. And he was moaning about having a sore wrist. I was like, should have fucking headed it.
He's a McNiggle.
Yes.
The sore wrist for other activities. After some of the quotes, and I'll just throw some of them out here, because again, we're getting the end of the season. I was looking for other things to speak about. Some of the quotes for the manager after it. We would have liked to be a bit more creative. We needed something to energise the crowd. It's difficult in these games where there's no a great deal on the line, and we know what we need to do in the summer. Now, we have our review episode next week, and we'll talk a lot more on that. The weird thing and I don't mean the whole 90 minutes, because I think again that well-worked corner genre, there was chances we'd been clear cut.
Farouja first half.
Farouja first half.
Yep, that's the best chance of the game.
Yeah. Like ultimately though, parts of that game felt like I could have watched a number of other games. Ken, for defence being maybe trying to play offside but get caught, the boy gets a free header, I get that. But just some of the other wee errors, or no finding the right man, or silly bookings, maybe no so much there, and no VAR, but when you're thinking right at the death and but he points to the spot without VAR, you think this is.
Yep.
But again, it just seems like a wee just rinse and repeat, and we're like broken records. I think we've said this for about September.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of fans' frustration comes from, because everybody that has watched the games, we can all see where the problem areas are within the team, and yet the problem areas have remained in place.
Yeah,
almost all season.
Yeah,
pretty much all season.
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
Obviously, that gets 7th. which is the best we could hope for. So
job done.
Yeah.
Job done after the split.
Yeah, job done. Again, on the back of winning the first game after the split, losing 2,
Yeah.
and then...
I'll tell you what didn't help the post-split fixtures. Because if they had put a Dundee Derby or United Aberdeen towards the end of these, then you might have had something... You just kind of petered out after the Dundee game.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll probably speak about it more after in next week's episode, but every game just felt a bit fucking flat after that Dundee Derby.
Obviously with that, and we'll get into the day obviously at the same time, 7 spots not under any doubt going into it. I suppose one highlight before we get into it, Sartsford gets his 11th goal in a debut campaign that was a bit up and down.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously Keir Gilligan comes in for a first senior start. But away to Paisley, who St Mirren also had nothing to play for, but do have a playoff coming up.
Yeah.
So I kind of mind if I think this might have been a chat on Tuesday rather than what we spoke about on Sunday, was I wonder what St Mirren do. I wonder what team he picks, given they've got this playoff to play in now. We've always said it, the playoffs always favour the Premier team. But you just don't know. And I thought for the most of it, they went fairly strong. Obviously, Will Ferry no being here, it was like, right, was going to play. Namo's been out injured. Keir Gilligan comes in. Oh, well, I've obviously heard them being mentioned. You mention him maybe not every week, but he's certainly been there or thereabouts. But brilliant, you know.
He had a good game, yeah. But pre-match, I think Shaw and Leo in the car were trying to calm us down when when Leo read the team out. I could not fucking believe.
Ken, what? Yeah, I'll tell you something, right? And Ken, you're away here moaning, and that's totally fine. But there's always one factor in your moans, and it's Leo. I think you just get rid.
No, I can't. I'd love to sometimes, but I can't.
He's not going to hit a ball when it was a perfect opportunity.
Today he was the messenger of the perceived bad news.
Well, that means he then gets the magic C.
Nah, I was driving and he was behind us.
So the team come out, did he read it name for name? Did he read it like...
Well, so he reads it the way it is, which does it kind of angers me. I need it like goalie.
Team comes out in numbers, doesn't it?
Defence.
Comes out, right.
Midfield. I need it like that, Rondo.
Right.
So he'll read it out to me and I'm trying to figure it out. And then I'm like, Beach go play. And he's like, I said him. I'm like, you fucking said him too early.
Right, okay.
I try to swear it
So at the same time, the team's been read out and you're there. So you're hearing, I thought of the team open in front of us.
All I had to hear today was Richards.
Yeah.
And I could not believe that our manager hasn't gave Rory Adams an opportunity to play one game. Because weeks ago, and I'm not saying I would have been right, but weeks ago, I was like, I would just fucking play Rory until the end of the season, probably about 5 games ago. And I'm not saying that was being hasty for me. But to no give him a minute, Rondo. No give him a game. And a glorified friendly today, essentially.
So you got the team read out as Dave Richards.
Yeah.
And then you would have got Strain, Vitko, Graham, Pan, Sapsford, Sibbald. That was a surprise.
That was a surprise as well, yeah.
Crestes, Waters, and then, Keir Gilligan.
Yes.
By the end.
Gilligan was a great surprise. I would have started Scotty Constable. And again, I've said it, and it's absolutely nothing against him because he's been brilliant for us. I wouldn't have played Sibbald. I get why you play him as a cheerio.
Same as Strain.
He gets a reception. Yeah, but I could argue, right, but these boys aren't going to be here next season.
Suppose on the other hand,
boys that will be.
Scotty Constable got 25 minutes.
Yeah,
and
I thought he did very well.
Yeah.
But where's the harm in giving him a whole game?
Yeah.
I assume that Jim Goodwin and the coaching staff they must not rate Rory Adams. That is what I'm taking from that today.
I'm surprised. Again, and
one game, it's a friendly, Rondo.
Yeah,
nothing on the line for anybody.
Because again, you can only protect a goalkeeper so much.
Yeah. And I understand the defence that he would be behind. It's no great. Like you're maybe setting him up to no look that good. But nobody would have moaned about it if he had been given a game.
Yeah, no,
nobody.
I agree.
And then when I got to the ground and I was looking on the Twitter feed, not everybody, but the majority of fans commenting on the team were like, "How is Adams not getting a game?" But you just wanted to see him, just because we've never seen him. We know that he's kind of highly rated. We know that he's went out on loan and he's played almost 100 games at senior level.
Start this campaign, but again, it's been reasons.
That's not his fault. That's because we've had to recall him and whatever. And by all accounts, I'd be surprised if Dave Richards is here next year. So there was Dave, Strain, Sibbald, all in the starting lineup, and chances are these boys, well, Sibbald's definitely not going to be here, and I suspect that Strain and Richards will also vacate.
Yeah. So, I mean, Keir Gilligan's 17, and it sort of left wing back. Christian Carestes come back in. Sibbald obviously started. Essling and Johnny Russell dropped to. No Farrugia, Ferry, Mane, Dolchik or Juvo in the squad. Dario Namo did come back and he's been injured as well.
Yeah.
And 18-year-old Matthew Moody.
Yes.
Also on the
right-sided player, right back usually.
But that's, I mean, we've already spoke about Ferry and Mane, how they were missing.
Yeah.
Juvo, Dolchik and Farrugia.
Yeah, Farrugia was, I believe he's injured. I don't know what's happened with Dolchik. There's been a failure on both sides there. We've not got the best out of him, and he's maybe not got the best out of himself. If we're being, I kind of just totally criticise the manager on that, and like there's something just no work there, and it should have, because he undoubtedly has ability. In fact, he came on against Livingston, and he done all right. Like, so, yeah, we've all seen him, and we all believe that he had a level of ability, but we have just never managed to harness it and get it produced on a consistent basis. And we've never really gave him much of a chance since September, October time, really. Disappointing.
Obviously, St Mirren, on one hand, they're looking ahead to that playoff, but, you know, boys are playing for spaces. It was no surprise that boys like Freckle and Gogic started. Mark O'Hara, your favourite, Alan Campbell was playing.
Marcus Fraser's my favourite.
See, when his number went up, I was like, I bet he's calling him for that.
So they had a boy in the team, and he got Sam booked, the young boy,
Luke Douglas.
So at this time, I didn't care nothing about him. I was like, cheating bastard.
16.
Because he runs into Sam runs into him, whatever. But he goes down Hudney's fish. And then about 3 minutes later, he throws himself behind Sam, he's trying to get him set. I was like, what's that, Leo? Because Leo, in his football manager experience, he's like, right, okay, I'll tell you what these boys are, Dad, because I can't add them. And then I checked, and I was like, oh, this boy's 16. I can't call him. I can see you next Tuesday when he's up at the goal for a corner. Couldn't do it, Rondo. He's younger than Leo.
I believe you could do it.
I'm not allowing him to say
Leo
that.
could have them a square
I'm
goal.
not allowing him to say that. He should have waited on him outside. Actually. I think about it.
I actually thought he'd done really well, young boy.
He did.
Good player.
He did 100%. He's a good player, and that's probably why he's getting the opportunity to play. Like, regardless of age, he has been deemed good enough.
Played ahead of boys like Mandro on that day.
You know what? Like, I didn't like him in the moments because I thought he was a cheating bastard when he went down Hudney's fish.
Yeah.
But he was very brave. Like, and it didn't faze him, the fact that he was up against grown men. Albeit one of them was Sam, and he's just a young lad himself. But he put himself about, so fair play to the laddie.
And he scored.
He scored?
It was him that scored.
Was it?
When it then got ruled off.
That's right.
Moment.
Jesus, Rondo. So, see if that had counted, I wouldn't have credited that goal to the boy. That would have been 100% on Dave Richards. I didn't even care how the ball has squirmed over him, through him, under him. I didn't even care what happened there. I was just staring at it thinking, there's no danger this has happened again.
See Butlins yesterday?
No. Similar?
Pass back, under the foot, and
no.
That's the the
Rangers' problem.
But that was...
I am posse seek or seeing goalkeepers. And you know what? And that's where my own frustration comes from, in not seeing the manager give Rory a chance. We know what Dave can do, and we also know what he has done to the detriment of the team at times. Other than that, I thought he actually had a good game today.
Right.
But that is an absolute fucking howler that he's got lucky. The boy was about a yard offside.
Yeah, he was off. He is definitely off.
But the keeper should throw his hat on that.
Aye.
That can't go in.
Agree.
So we got really lucky in that moment, but I was biling, as you could well imagine.
Yeah, and then we scored.
And then we did score, and it was a cracker of a goal, I think. I've not seen it back, but it seemed like a good
Max
move.
Wallace does really well.
Great finish.
Good cross.
Does he flick it?
He flicks it.
Yeah.
Flicks it outside of the right foot.
Is he at an angle? Is Zach at an angle?
Oh, he's the other side of the post.
Yeah.
Again, I've not seen a different angle to go, what's the goalie then?
Yeah.
But it's just a good finish.
But he's maybe not expecting.
And then that was halfway through the first half, and then obviously, like you're saying about Richards, he has a good save for Jake Young, the boy. I think it's Gogic as well. He has a save for. So,
Yeah.
and he did
have a few good saves.
and kept well ahead going into the break. But again, it was very end of season.
Yeah, it was poor. Like, but it wasn't unexpected. So I wasn't shouting, I wasn't moaning, I didn't boo anyway. But there was none of that, because I kind of travelled through there today thinking, well, this is a friendly. Like, people can make mistakes if they want. Yeah. Preferably know my keeper. When somebody's rolled a ball back to him and he can just fucking throw it over himself or whatever happened in that moment. But it was your typical end of season fare, and in particular for a nothing game.
Half time would have felt like that, I'm imagining.
Yeah, it was. There wasn't really much chat about the game at half time. Basically, it was just
fair prices.
I never spent a penny the day.
What, you on that after last week?
Honestly, never.
After boy saying to you,
I have been pulled up in the street a couple of times about my tight-fistedness, and I can't believe that a man that spends 25 quid on food at football.
Wow.
Disgraceful.
At least you can go and get a bargain in the shop. It's a big sale in the shop. Your money might go quite far.
No money left.
Well, that's also
Aberdeen sorted that. Rotten bastards.
Not day we a trip to Paisley. You've got to pay danger money on entry.
True.
You know what I mean?
That's very true.
Second half, Feet got a chance early doors.
Yeah.
And then it was going to be the changes. There was going to be changes. And there was going to be a Standard United conceding of a goal. I don't know. I mean, Crestes.
It's a deflection, isn't it?
Crestes looks like he's got ice skates on, and it looks like he's doing the splits, and then deflects off Ross into the corner.
Right. I've not seen nothing back, and it was down the other end of the park. But yeah, it was a deflection, so these things can go against you, can't they?
Yeah, just shite. Eskison as well, I think it was.
He looked lively. Did they hit the post as well?
Oh, Gogic have a kick.
Oh,
it was unbelievable. No, it doesn't. I think Big Sam blocks it.
Right, but they did hit the post, I think.
Can't mind.
I'm sure they hit the post. Second half.
Mind.
Again, it's down the far end, and I'm in row fucking C or something. I'm looking through the goal net.
It was. Mark was doing the comms today, but he was keeping me updated on the youth game. I kind of mentioned it later on, and I was kind of getting very excited about what was going on there at one point. But the changes came, and ultimately you see, Eskison comes on, but Bert came on, Scotty Constable comes on, Sturton comes on, Johnny Russell comes on. So there were changes. I didn't expect a young lad Moody to come on, really, unless you had to. But there was loads of stuff like that happening. But they brought on the young boy Faulkner, and it's him that hits the post.
Age is he? 12 or something?
6. Fuck it. Yeah. Who cares? But again,
just starting school next.
Probably, yeah. So he there was like that. The over kick actually might happen later on. I can't mind. But
I got mute my sick because I was like, wait a minute. Yeah.
I mean, it was into the game that it was just going that way, but it was good to see like Scotty Constable on one side, Keir Gill on the other side. I mean, he was Shocker was cramping up.
Yeah, of course.
The media's that were subs.
Yeah. And
you could tell it was like, I'm going to need to chase this boy.
Yeah. You know what? I thought Keir was really good. Was he the same as what we get for Will Ferry? Of course he wasn't.
Different type of player, but of course. He's not scared to go forward.
No, of course, but that's his first ever game. And I'd have no idea when he would have found out. Maybe only yesterday, Saturday, sorry, as we're recording this on a Sunday, obviously. Maybe only the day before the game, find out that he's actually playing. So that must have been a big deal for him, like, no doubt about it. Yeah. But I thought he put in a really good shift.
Yeah, it was...
I suspect he'll still be at United next season, but he'll be on loan. That's the path I see him taking. Yeah. I can't see him being in the team. But that's fine. Like, the fans have had a glimpse, similar to Scotty Constable. Like, we've had a couple of glimpses of Scotty, and I would like to believe that he could be in and around the squad next season. But
could challenge Rollins,
possibly, yeah, because he come on the day and he was very good.
But Josh,
not here. He's not being Seth freaking Rollins. But he'll take Scotty freaking Constable.
But that would be, it could be a next stage of it. Again, he's played in the Championship. Again, it was on that loan. But if you maybe get Keir on something like that,
that's got to be the plan.
It's
got to be the plan. But they both showed up well. particularly Keir, because he was on the Hill game.
Was it more relief when the full-time whistle went for your favourite referee, just to bring the curtain down on the season?
It was just a bit fucking... thankfully, it's done. It's dusted. Because it wasn't much of a game, really, I didn't think. In fact, the last few games, they've kind of felt that way.
Yeah, but we said that it could happen. That was our 15th league draw.
Yeah. There can't be anybody that's drew more than us. Can't be. Motherwell were close.
Livingston.
Have they drew 15 as well?
Yeah, and then you've got Motherwell 13, Rangers 12, and then Kilmarnock St Mirren 10.
Yeah. I wonder what that tells you. Too many cautious approaches to games.
Well, I mean,
that's a lot of draws.
Well, I've said before, if you get a point on the road, it's always a decent result, but your home form has to back you up. Ultimately, our home form since the Hearts debacle, because they never cheat, obviously, has actually been really good.
Yeah,
like in results. Let's not go overboard in performances, but results have been really good. Points tally, 15 draws. It's also 4-game winless run. You know, we won the derby, but it's been 2 defeats and 2 draws.
Aberdeen pumped last week, did they not?
We got beat for Aberdeen, we got beat for Kilmarnock, we drew with Livi and drew with...
Yeah.
So it's been...
It's all a bit meh. It's all a bit meh.
Yes. I mean, Jim Goodwin's mentioned that a million times, but the inconsistency defensively. Goalkeeper, 3 goalkeepers have played. I would have played today, would have been the 4th.
Well, I was just the way to say, I wonder if that was in his mind. He doesn't want to be the boy that's playing 4 goalkeepers in a season.
I mean, again, the day you're looking at nae Fata, nae Will Ferry, nae Manny, nae Stevenson. And there's 4 of the best players we've had this season. And that's saying someone for Manny only coming in January. But you can tell him out the conversation. There's 3 of your best players no playing today. You know, I know Will's been...
Makes a difference.
I mean, Will's been brilliant again.
And Fata, at that time he was in our team, like everything good was coming through him and Will. You take them out of the team.
Doing that left side.
Yeah, you're going to have to become a wee bit more agricultural, unfortunately.
You'll probably know I've seen it, but just to summarise some of the, again, quotes for the manager on the back end of the game, they're expecting big things for Zach Sarsford next season.
So
he's had his main
he started
campaign.
well and he finished well. It was the bit in the middle that he
didn't
score
11
many,
goals?
did he? I know, but
total.
So when you look at that at the end of the season, you're like, that's a decent amount. There's only 4 less than Dalby, and we all love Dalby, but it was just the drought that seemed to go on forever, and he was out of form and whatever. There's probably reasons for it, but
Keir Gilligan can be really proud of his overall performance. It's been an average season compared to what we would expect. Just haven't been able to force our way into that top 6. And again, when you look at, I heard the number, but I didn't count what I've done with it. Sky put a graphic up yesterday saying Hearts were top of the league for 250 days. You know, stop laughing, right?
Sorry,
because Dazen Kid, or whatever his name is, or fucking whatever they were saying, right, was hilarious. But to be that top for that and not to win a league, but there was also people had it in positions, and I'm sure United have been in 7th for like hundreds of days.
Yeah,
again, that's what it feels like. And again, it's been Falkirk just having a brilliant first 25, 30 games. You know, Motherwell, relegation fodder. When you spoke, any pundit was like, they'll get pumped, come from any place, play some really good stuff. I don't know, last though, you keep saying. Aberdeen, Fife, Cliff, Hibs, somehow just be alright.
Yeah.
Getting to be in it. And
but you say somehow, but they're well backed. Like
they're well backed.
They should be where they are.
Even when again,
they're never a team that I fear United going to play.
No, but we'll speak. I mean, we'll speak about it like next week when we go through all them. But look at that capitulation, Easter Road. Again, 2-1 up with 85 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, fucking 3-1 up earlier in the season.
Unbelievable, like.
Punching bars into our own net.
Wow, we got halfway fucking good at that. And it's no, unfortunate's not the right word, but the fact we are staring at another rebuild of big proportions because the goalkeeper's no word, right? So you're needing 2 new goalkeepers. You might need a third end to be kicking about.
Maybe.
Carestes will not be us next season, right? I'll say he's playing in like League One in England next year, right? Or back in Hungary. That's where I see him playing. So you're going to need. I think Big Yovo's actually done all right. You know,
he got better. He improved.
Yeah,
he improved.
And Big Sam's still kicking about as well. you still probably need one, unless, again, you want a back four, you're still going to need one, right? Full backs. We've got a right back coming in, we might have a left back going out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you think, you're needing to get midfield, you might be all right, but you probably still need to add, depending what formation. I mean, I'll say it more for next week, because I wrote some stuff down on it. I'm absolutely desperate for us to go and play a 4-2-3-1. Because when he's brought Eskison on, and I'm not saying he's the answer, but I've seen enough of him in these two games to go, that's the type of player we need to get moving. We need a bit more pace.
And also the type of player you would like to watch. But that's not the way Goodwin plays.
No, but I just wonder what food for thought's happening over these last couple of weeks.
Who knows? Like, he did change his philosophy when he went 3-4-3, didn't he? He was like, well, I looked at that over the summer and I thought this is the best way to go. Maybe he does that again and it's 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But in general, Babunski, like that sort of player.
10.
Dolchik, kinda. Maybe not a 10, but like an exciting player. Eskison, these boys, they just, something happens. They lose the manager's trust.
Yeah. So I do.
So whose fault is that? Is it their fault, or is it the manager not being able to get the best out of them? Possibly, yeah. Possibly.
I mean, we'll speak a lot more about it next week when we look back on it. People have probably noticed we stopped doing man of the match quite quickly because results weren't great. I'll sort of tally up. We'll do our daft awards and that next week anyway. But so I'm not asking you certainly for that, but I will ask you for the final time this season for a good, bad, and ugly.
Rondo, the good and the bad are getting rolled together this week because they are the same. It's the end of the season, a relatively mediocre season, in my opinion, but the harsh reality is that there's no United to go and watch for at least the next 6 weeks. So we'll all undoubtedly miss it. And we it being the last weekend, there's no ugly.
Yeah, it's been one of them. Obviously, let's say next week is our review episode. Played 38, 10 wins, 15 draws, 13 defeats, scored 49, conceded 60, goal difference of -11, ended up 45 points and in the 7th position. For all those caffeinated filling legends that are, thank you very much to everyone who has supported us on Buy Me a Coffee. If there is a way, and I don't know if there is, for me to shut the Buy Me a Coffees over the summer break, I will. I've no idea how to do it. Thank you so much to everyone that has. Say buymeacoffee.com/Dode Fox podcast, and we have a few to drown our sorrows with an extra hot Americano this evening.
Excellent. Well, Mike Andrews has bought 3 coffees. Thanks for all the pods again this season. Enjoy your couple of weeks off. It'll be more than a couple.
6.
And fingers crossed for 2 new goalies and 2 experienced centre-halves next season and 2 better podcasters. He didn't say that. No, but thank you very much, Mike. And last but certainly not least, Terry Gallagher. 2 points from 12 and 1 goal scored in 4 games since pumping the fun. It just isn't good enough. Mon Pumper, finally say it. Goodwin must go. Glad it's all over. Bring on the World Cup. Tel. I'm not saying it, Tel, because I'm still not there, but I do disagree with a lot of what he does.
Yeah, you can, if you're watching this on YouTube and you've got you on the big telly, which is, it's a horrendous thought. You can't scan that QR code if it'll work. It should work, and you could buy us a coffee. And thank you very much to everyone who has done that. It has indeed been one of those seasons. We will break off after next week for 6 weeks, but it doesn't mean you can't still buy a ticket to come and see our biggest show yet. Friday 25th of September, we're heading back to the Bonner Hall, a night with the captains. Over 80% of the tickets have now been sold. There are not many left, and because it's the slightly restricted view that we take off sale, and they will likely go pretty quickly. So if you want to get your tickets, you can spend an evening with me, Paul, a better Paul, Hegarty, Malpass, Webster, Dillon, Reynolds, to basically look into the role of captain.
Did you see Malpass on Twitter the other day? He was speaking to some journalist.
Will you send me this?
Yes, about Scotland, Costa Rica. And they were on about, well, this was the game plan. I was supposed to show this boy inside or something, and he done that, and fucking unfortunately Costa Rica went and scored. And that was it. Like Scotland lost at the World Cup to Costa Rica. I can remember that because I'm that old. That was a bad result for us. And he says, so he kind of just wasn't very happy with himself. The next morning, it's a phone call for wee Jim, slating us for allowing the boy to go inside and showing him, there you go, mate. That's the path to goal. On you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows if any wee Jim stories will come up. I suspect that they will. But yeah, we've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm really looking forward to spending an evening with these guys in front of a good few people.
Yeah, you can get your tickets, stonefoxpodcast.com. They're £20 plus your fees. Well, I mean, I can't even say it's the final Tannadice Test, Paul, because there may be a bumper edition next week with our guests when we're looking back on the 25-26.
All the pressure's on the guests, though.
Correct.
I don't care.
Although, I was speaking to one of our guests and he said, well, between the three of us, we'll get it right. I was like, no,
Doesn't
no,
work
it's
like
not
that.
team effort.
Doesn't work like that.
You're battling.
Boys are writing down like this.
You're battling to the death. Clothing optional. So, do what you need to do.
Taps off.
Player profile. Born May 18th, 1995. A midfielder that was signed in July of 2022 by Jack Ross. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
He went on to make 136 appearances, scoring 11 goals.
Sybil.
Correct.
Sybil.
Nice and easy start. Higher or lower? Is Ross Docherty's 50 appearances for United higher or lower than Benji Seagrass clean sheets?
There is no way Benji Seagrass kept more than
Mind him on the
clean
pod.
sheets.
He was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
What a laugh.
He was
Slagging the D's.
always up for mocking the wee team, wasn't he?
Absolutely brilliant.
Loved Benji at United.
Higher.
Do not believe that he kept more clean sheets.
Higher. Ross Docherty, 50 appearances, higher or lower than Benji's clean sheets? Lower.
No way.
52.
No way.
It's in the championship, mate.
I don't care.
52.
That's some record.
And if I've made that up,
he must be about second only to, or maybe third, like him, Billy Thompson.
I think he's around about 10th.
We've had goalies that have kept more than.
Get him up. We've got time to kill. I mean, here, no do anything else.
I'm struggling to believe this, Rondo.
Well,
maybe because it's been this season and we're just wrapping it up and we've rarely seen a clean sheet. It feels like.
What did I say he was?
10th.
10th, right. Well, that was made up.
I don't think he'll be anywhere near 10th.
Hamish McAlpine.
Yeah. Billy T.
240.
Yeah, loads.
Billy Thompson, 97. Boy, we can't speak about now, 65. Your hero. Don McKay, 53. Benji Seagrass, 52. Fifth.
That's
amazing.
all right. Huh?
Amazing. In 145 games. So it's 36%.
It's unbelievable.
Brilliant. Yeah. First and last is back.
I don't think it's 36%, or somebody will pull you up. Is that not near enough 1 in 3?
It's 35.86%, 52 clean sheets in 145 games. Skilled as you know, go to.
You're probably right.
Of course right.
Somebody will pull me up about that.
Right in front of us. First and last, back.
Yeah.
All these players played for United. I'll tell you the first club and the last club they played. You tell me what they are. I've also can throw in their appearances, and I might do that because it's quite tricky. Once I wrote it today, I went, that's quite tricky.
Okay.
He made 85 appearances for United. First club was Barnsley. Last club, Cambridge United. Can't remember if I mentioned him last week, but he might be on the rumour mill next week.
Oh, still not a clue. Barnsley and then Cambridge.
Aye.
85 games for us.
Aye.
It's got to be an Englishman.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't can.
Jack Walton.
Yeah. Cambridge, yeah. Is that where he is?
On loan, if he
On loan, yeah, that's right, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I maybe should have got a wee bit
Yeah.
closer to that than just simply done I can.
And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a phone call made to his agent.
Hope so.
Over the summer. 75 appearances for this next one. First club was Aberdeen. Last club, Gillingham. What?
You're a prick.
Why?
You can. I don't know what me, Stone Cold. That is Derek Stilley. Is it?
Correct.
You're a prick.
Yeah.
You are.
Derek still featured in any of our very first episodes we went on YouTube. The clip when you gave you a birthday gift and you threw it back in minutes.
Correct. Shoulda.
117 appearances for the next one. First club was Forfar. Last club was Ross County.
117 appearances.
Podcast pal as well. Hero.
I'm going to kick myself.
Yes.
I can't think of what I started at Forfar. So many players went up to Ross County.
It's no recent though.
Leave okay?
Nah. Craig Booster.
Fuck, of course he did. Ross County. I would have struggled with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Brew.
First club, Dundee United. Last club, Everton. 183 appearances for United.
Is he still at United?
He's not still playing.
He's a man that used to affectionately get known as T-Fall when I was at school because he's big bonds.
If
It's Alec Cleland.
it was Alec Cleland, he's also I think I've told the story before. When I was mascot, he got asked, "What's your favourite player?" I was like, Alex Cleland.
Yeah.
No idea why I picked him. Scored the winner that day.
Excellent. Because of you.
Yeah.
Is it Alec Cleland?
Unfortunately, it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Only played for 3 clubs. United, Rangers, never.
Yeah, we'll forget about the middle end.
First club, Dundee United. Last club, Cheltenham Town. 95 appearances for United. Podcast pal. And this is not recent. So it's not like a Sam McClelland. I'm just throwing that out there, but it's not like him.
Cheltenham.
Went
How many
to Cheltenham.
appearances for United?
95. Went to Cheltenham after playing for his heroes, his team. Podcast pal.
Would I get it if you told me his team?
Oh, 100%. He might be a podcast pal, but his love of his team might have not made it on the pod.
Okay, it's got to be Andy Gray.
Correct.
Cheltenham. That's where he finished his career.
I left.
I thought it was at Rangers.
Nah, he went to Cheltenham. Didn't play a lot.
His beloved team.
Oh, man. That's not good an episode, is that? I don't fuck. Just slugged me off for my Wi-Fi. You can do one. Also played for Montrose, Peterhead, Wraith Rovers, and St Patrick's Athletic.
Sheep.
Correct.
Sheep.
Who am I? I'm a bit of a unique case in that I didn't start out in an academy system. That's it. I played junior football for 4 years while working as a pipe fitter at Glasgow shipyards. I got my break in 2009. I signed a 1-year deal and made my professional debut against Airdrie United, and in my home debut, I scored twice against Berwick Rangers. After 137 appearances, I signed up to head to Tannadice, and as luck would have it, I made my debut against the team I just left. My first season was a bit hit and miss. I only made 9 appearances. My second season, I made 41, scored 8 goals, including an opening day win against Aberdeen. My third season was a bit meh, and I signed a pre-contract to return to the team I left to sign for United, and I'm still playing now at 39. Who am I?
So I was thinking Danny Swanson.
It's not Danny Swanson.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but the more clues you gave us, the more I was thinking it's no him. But other than him, I should ken this.
Mm-hmm.
100% I should ken this. We signed him in 2009 and he made
I never said we signed him in 2009.
2009? What was 2009 then?
Signed for his first club in 2009.
So he's obviously still young.
He's 39.
Yeah, but that's relatively young compared to me.
Wait a minute, and me. No. This is one of them that if I gave you a couple of clubs or whatever, you'd ken it right away. So we try to make it a bit of competition. Yeah. Or if I said a certain incident, you'd ken it right away. But yeah. The club he's playing for now, his mate got sacked recently. Or left the job. There you go. And I don't want to speculate what he's doing now because I couldn't get it concrete of what he does now.
I don't can.
No. I am Chris Erskine.
Oh, he's a fiery.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I couldn't find it confirmed. Yeah. Remember his first game?
I do, yeah. Would love to speak to him about that because that must have been hellish.
Yeah, I actually didn't realise then he obviously went back to Partick, so again, I couldn't have mentioned Partick.
Yeah.
And then he actually, second season, he was really good. And then his third season, Peter Dutton and Mixie went, nah, I'm not hitting you, and he signed a pre-contract to go back.
Ferrucci's got a bit of Erskine about him, I think. Maybe just the way he runs. Just the way he runs.
Yeah.
He's a fiery now anyway in the West Coast.
Final time this season for a Lone Rapport women's team and academy update.
There's really no much in the loans. We've got Charlie Dewar at Alloa. Charlie's season ended in the playoff final against Stenhousemuir this past week. He'd play every minute of the two legs, and after his Alloa side lost the first game 3-1 at home, they were always going to have a mountain to climb. The second leg saw Charlie have an excellent game, and his side were certainly the better team on the night. And despite winning 1-0, it wasn't enough, and they will remain in League One next season.
Stenhousemuir in the Championship, eh?
That is, yeah.
Wow.
And their managers abandoned them for another team in the
yeah, to go here,
yeah. But Charlie's had an outstanding season. There's absolutely no getting away from that. The academy team. Last Monday, the under-19s were at home to the Rangers, and it was a difficult night. Despite the Rangers scoring a goal that was offside, and United being denied a stonewall penalty, it likely wouldn't have mattered as the Ouija's pretty much dominated the match from start to finish. United trailed 3-0 at the break, but came out flying at the start of the second half when 15-year-old wonder boy Lorenzo Sassetti carried the ball 50 yards, skinned his man, and then played the ball to the back post for a young Cohen Leaper to score from close range. That was as good as it would get for United though, and the Rangers would score another couple before the night was over to give themselves a very comfortable and deserved 5-1 win. And today is the first team were playing out their last game. The under-17s were through in Airdrie competing against St Mirren in the CAS Cup final. And they'd only go and win the damn thing, Rondo. In a match that finished 2-2, with the ever-reliable Jack Anderson notching both goals, United would win the match and the cup on penalties, with United keeper Aidan McKimmie saving 3 of them. Excellent stuff all round. Dickers finally getting a cup winner's medal. And the women's team. Well, United brought down the curtain on their home games last week as they welcomed Queen's Park to Foundation Park. And pretty much as the season has panned out, it was another disappointing afternoon. In a match of few chances, Queen's Park scored twice in 3 minutes midway through the second half, and that was more than enough to secure all 3 points on the day. The curtain was then brought down on a very disappointing season with a trip to the Spartans, and in keeping with the theme of the season, Rondo, that one finished 2-0 to the Spartans.
I meant to mention to you, I also saw Danny McGinley, or Danny Finlay, and
made 100 appearances now.
Robin Smith getting 100 shirts.
Yeah, and they're best mates. I think Robin got her 100th appearance months ago, but she wanted to wait until her best mate got it as well. So
I meant to mention that
together.
About it.
What about making an absolute arse of myself on Monday at the academy game when I spotted John Rankin, podcast pal John Rankin, because his young lad plays for the Rangers. He's very good, looks a lot like his old man as well. The way he runs, shirt tucked in.
This will be fun. What happened?
Yeah. So I was making my way out just about 2 minutes before the end of the game, and I spotted Davy Bowman. I was like, all right, Bo. And he was speaking to John Rankin. I was like, all right, John. And I thought, better introduce myself, because I've never actually introduced myself. So I'm like, hi, John, I'm Paul for the podcast. Spoke to you a while back, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I can wait, huh? I was like, I apologise. Nice to meet you. Made my way to the car and just hit the steering wheel a couple of times.
Did I text you about anything on Tuesday after I spoke to John Rankin?
You said you spoke to him, yeah.
So I was going down this for a pee, and it's too much info, but you're getting it. And he was going up the stairs. He says, "How you getting on?" I says, "I know bad." He says, "Oh, seen Big Paul yesterday." I says, "Oh, did he?" And I can't mind the exact phrase.
Arsehole.
It was something along the lines of, he either didn't ken what I was, or he had to tell me why he was. He's like, and I knew why he was. Yeah. I was like, that's why he wears
I never liked to assume.
I says, that's why he wears a T-shirt calling himself the original Big Ham.
100%.
You see the big hams I got sent on Twitter.
Yes, I did.
They fell for Valencia.
That'll be our back line next season.
No,
Then,
no. He was wearing him and Pam, his wife were wearing Celtic tops yesterday. But they'd been AI'd on them. And I said, I'm not fucking sure they are. Are you actually at Parkhead?
Did you see the AI of Jim Goodwin running about running about Celtic Park yesterday? That was funny, like.
Mind he went arse over tit. That was a Meshack moment, wasn't it?
It was Meshack that caused that. That's probably how he never got another chance.
That's how he never got on the pitch yesterday. It was funny. Oh, when I was doing the notes for Chris Erskine. So again, you as you get when it goes lower leagues, it's hard to find a lot of info.
Yes.
So I was like, is he still playing? So I'd seen that he'd signed for Payton had signed up.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise the last game before Payton left, they got Horst 5-0, and in the starting lineup were Chris Erskine and Paul Payton. I thought that's fucking typical.
Did Pates get punted, or was it mutual?
It says they left. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
They won't be 5-9, so.
Well, yeah, I do know that it was Payton signed him for that team.
Yeah.
And that he is a fiery.
He's not kicked a bus since that game, so I don't know.
Neither's Payton.
Could be injured right enough.
Maybe.
So I found that quite amusing. But on this day, a bit like yours, there's not much to say. In association with the Arab Archive, preserving the history of Dundee Football Club since 2006, 18th of May is our focus. One game would beat Brecon 6-1 in the Forfarshire Cup semi-final in 1951.
Wow.
The question to you is, what was the game like?
It was a tight affair until the last 20.
No signings, but we have two Bairns birthdays today. Lee Miller is 43 and the departing Craig Sibbald is 31.
Happy birthday to Sibbald.
You're just jealous because you can't book in for a hair appointment with Lee Miller.
True.
Episode 336 is done. Another season done. And next week, we'll look back at the 25-26 campaign. You can find out more at DoorFoxPodcast.com. Follow us on the socials for the Door Fox Podcast. You can like, subscribe, click the notification bell on YouTube and support the pod. Thank you very much to the heroes that keep us fueled in virtual caffeine. buymeacoffee.com/Dode Fox Podcast. Have a great week. Stay safe. Don't forget to wash your hands and your arsehole.